Today, Rupert gets caught up with a mad, sad inventor who is making unidentified flying objects in Rupert and the Sky Boat.
There's a little bear like you never seen before, who's a lot of fun. Children everywhere go to love him more and more. He's the number one. There's a million stories to be told of the things that he's done, and he's gonna share them all with you, so come along. Rupert, Rupert the Bear, everyone sing his name. Rupert, Rupert the Bear, everyone come and join in all of his games.
Mrs. Bear comes back from shopping. She and Margot have seen strange objects in the sky. Rupert has been too busy gardening to look. He asks if he can stop now. Rupert hurries to the common with Margot. The objects are still there. Why, bits of machinery, says Rupert in surprise. I wonder what they're for. He'd like to look closer. Got you, he shouts. Oh, help! Margot's afraid the hook has got Rupert, but her weight stops him from floating away. Thanks, Margot, he says gratefully. Quick work! Margot wants to know what he's holding. It's an ordinary hook, Rupert tells her. Tied to a lump of, well, metal, I think. It's very cold. I'm going to untie it. Hold on. Rupert finds the hook is heavy when it's untied. Just look, says Rupert, amazed. That metal was pulling against gravity. Why, it must be lighter than air. Margot doesn't really understand. Let's follow them and find out where they come from, says Rupert. Up and away they go with ease, over the hills and skimming trees, chasing the UFOs all agog, until they find they've hit a fog. Rupert could do with radar here. Then all at once, the weather's clear. The fog patch wasn't fog at all, and now the UFOs start to fall. Giving that smoke a wide, safe berth, Rupert and Margot come to Earth. What a funny place to build a factory, says Rupert. The gate is open. Rupert wants to explore. There's nobody here, says Margot. Do you think we dare look inside? Says Rupert. There's somebody here. Margot is very frightened. Rupert thinks he better take her home. The stranger wants to know their business. He's polite, but firm. You're unauthorized personnel, he tells them. Why are you trespassing? Well, we followed the UFOs here, Rupert says. We really didn't mean any harm. And then we wondered who the factory belonged to. Me, says the stranger. Well, we'll be going now, says Rupert. Oh, but you've only just got here, says the owner. Oh, don't rush off. Are we in the clutches of a mad scientist? Thinks Rupert. Will we never be seen again? Thinks Margot. Wouldn't you like to see round first? Says the owner hopefully. Oh, please say yes. He does so want to show off his beautiful factory. Rupert is thrilled. Margot is still a little frightened, but the owner is very reassuring. Rupert asks why the factory smoke goes down instead of up. Oh, how bright of you to notice, says the owner. Oh, but it isn't smoke. It's clouds. Come and see why. This is my main engine room, he tells the chums. This is where the clouds are processed. The machines here turn them into sky metal, you see. Rupert has never heard of sky metal. Ah, well, I've only just invented it. I manufacture it here, he goes on, and then it's carried down for storage in the basement. It's very rare stuff. Rupert is fascinated. This feels exactly the same as the lump the hook was tied to. It behaves the same, too. The owner laughs. It's lighter than air, you see. It defies gravity. Margot doesn't like the big machines, so the owner takes them outside again. Rupert wants to know what sky metal is used for. Oh, nothing yet, the owner tells him. It's too new, but it has great possibilities for space travel. Here are a lot more of those things we followed from Nutwood, calls Rupert. Oh, the metal has to be anchored by something heavier than itself. Otherwise, it wouldn't stay on the ground. I'm still experimenting with the exact weight needed. Come and see what I made yesterday. You could help me with this, he goes on. Will you take a test flight in my new flying saucer? Margot would really rather go home, but she's persuaded to take part in the space program first. What's this for? Says Rupert. I can't see any loose screws. I had to fill it with tools to weight it down. Would you be kind enough to throw them out, one by one, until she just holds steady, starting now? The chums do as he asks. Oh, this is just the help I needed, he sighs happily. But there's trouble somewhere on the production line. Oh, my engines, he gasps. My precious engines hold everything. But Margot can't quite hold it in time. Help, yells Rupert. We're adrift. But the owner doesn't even hear him. For a moment, it seems that the factory clouds may pull them down again. But the engine room must have got badly out of control. We've got to gain weight again, Rupert cries. Come on, Margot, catch them! They manage to steady the skyboat just in time. Rupert finds he can steer it quite easily now. But once they disembark, there's nothing they can do to stop it floating off forever. They hear a new noise from the factory grounds. They can hardly believe their eyes. The whole building is rising into the air. Well, it was a funny place to build a factory, says Rupert. But all the same, is it lost forever? Asks Margot. And the poor owner too? But the owner parachutes to safety on his last piece of sky metal. Rupert and Margot are very glad because they like him. They run to welcome him down. The owner sadly watches his last piece of sky metal disappear. I couldn't hold on to it any longer, he says. It was cutting my fingers. He's very upset. His factory is gone forever. His life work is ruined. What went wrong? Margot asks him. I forgot to regulate the engines, he says. They produced so much sky metal the factory couldn't hold it down. Why did all the machine parts come out of the chimney? I had to try and restore the weight balance by putting the machines in reverse, the owner explains. To bring the factory down by throwing out the surplus sky metal. But it's no good. He sighs. It won't happen until the factory's too far away. Oh, how can I hope to get it back? We'll chase it, says Rupert. The owner is too dazed to ask questions. They're giving chase. They've won the race. They navigate with skill. They've proved that science has a place for good plain magic still. And when they tell Mrs. Bear about the adventure, she agrees with them.
Rupert the Bear, everyone sing his name. Rupert the Bear, everyone come and join in all of his games. Rupert the Bear, everyone come and join in all of his games.